This is Romo Dunze, and you're listening to the Ballsville Podcast.
Thank you so much, man. Appreciate it.
What's up, everybody? 1 second. We have a technological difficulty going on. Give me 2 seconds to clear this up. What's up, Scotty?
Welcome in, Ballsville gamers, to another episode of the Ballsville Podcast. I'm your host, Scott Fitzgerald, a.k.a. Lutz for Sale on Sleeper. And this episode is brought to you by the Ballsville Games. Our games combine fantasy football and poker, which create big payouts with great odds. All right, guys, welcome in. We have a big show today. We have a new guest today. We're going to be talking a little bit injuries, a little bit about the Thursday Puke Fest we just watched, and we're going to get into some Dynasty. We're going to get into some mini game and possibly some start-sit questions from you audience, and we are going to go back in history and look at some draft boards that we had and see if we were right or were we wrong. So let me introduce you to my panel. So my co-host, like always, he's Bill's Mafia. He is from Viva Las Vegas. He is S. Clem on Sleeper, and he is Sean. What's up, Sean?
Not much, my friends. Good to hear.
All right, and back in the saddle, he is our El Presidente from Fresno, California. Welcome in, Alex Westlake on Sleeper. What is up, Alex?
Howdy, guys. Good to be back.
And we have a new guest today. He's one of our game managers. He is also from Fresno, California. His name is Zach. He goes by ZBDub808 on Sleeper. And what is up, Zach?
Hey, what's up, everybody? Thank you for letting me join on here. Give you a little brief history about me. I joined Alex's Dynasty Leagues a few years ago, and, he started Ballsville, a year or two after. And, I joined a few of those best ball games, and then eventually he was like, oh, I need a little bit, some extra help. Would you mind managing the leagues? I'm like, sure, I can manage a few. And it turns out now I'm the manager of all the Dynasty Leagues. So, it's exciting stuff. Lots of exciting, trades going down and pickups the last few weeks. So it's fun getting all those notifications and seeing where the activity is, league to league. So, I'm excited to be here, and thank you for letting me join.
Awesome. Now, out of all the Ballsville games, Zach, what is your favorite game style to play?
Triathlon.
I usually just stick to your standard, best ball. That's usually what because I have my home league Dynasty leagues I pay the most attention to, and then I just give me the draft and forget it style when it comes to Ballsville.
Gotcha. Yeah. All right. Well, that's some good info for you. And for all you listeners, we want you to like and subscribe to the podcast. It really helps us out a lot. And also, if you look down at our ticker, theballsvillegame.com, our website is getting dialed in. Alex has worked tirelessly on this website. I update the tools pretty much every other day. So we got some fresh tools on there to help you guys win your fantasy leagues. So definitely check out the website. It's a lot of good information along with we're slowly implementing all your guys' leagues in there with standings and updates. So we eventually want to transition from Sleeper over to the website where you can get all of your fantasy needs. So we are going to talk about some carnage. And carnage is injuries, which is horrible. We are in week 3, and we are just having a hard time filling lineups. So I'm going to go over some quick injuries real quick, things that I picked up throughout the day, some recent news that just came in.
I wish there was way too many people on this list.
Yeah, way too many people. So just to go over a few things real quick. So Tajay Spears is questionable, and Njoku's out. Pacheco possibly, there's rumbles he could miss the whole season. Mostert's out. Walker's out. Higgins is limited. Possibility he could play Monday. It's a little tricky. It's a Monday night game. I'd suggest to possibly put him in your flex. and I know there's a couple games going off that day, so maybe you could replace him with somebody else if he decides to tweaks something in pregame. Ingram's out. Kittle is now out. Odunze is limited, but he looks like he's going to play. Keenan Allen's out. Josh Downs is back. So he's back in the lineup. We'll see how that affects Alec Pierce. Addison is out. A.J. Brown is out. Big news on Mixon and Dameon Pierce. They are both out. So look to pick up Cam Akers. Love's been limited, but I would wait another week on him. I don't know. Did I miss anything, Sean? I mean, I can't. There's so many people on this list. I'm just having a hard time.
Dude, honestly, if you did miss anybody, there's so many people, I would have missed them too. So I can't honestly answer that question. Do you guys know anybody that's missing out of that list?
I mean, we'll go to Zach since he's new. Zach, it seems like every year by week 3 or 4, we're just having so many issues with our lineups because these guys get just injured so much.
It's hard too because a lot of them are your top 5 rounds. A lot of your key picks, and it's like, now it's hard to you draft you depending on a lot of people have been drafting wide receivers early now, but now it's like, okay, maybe I should have drafted running back early. It's really hard because year to year you kind of like try to stick to your same draft style, but it's kind of like they're changing it on you. It's like coming I'm going on a little bit of a tangent here, but like touchdowns, passing touchdowns are down, so it's like where do we go from here, so it's like
you got to stay like water, man.
Yeah, you got it. Obviously fantasy is very fluid, and you have to be real quick on the waiver wire, especially this year.
Yeah, talk about burning through fab. I mean, it's you really don't want to chase those players that are possibly coming in. I mean, like, I'll go to Alex since he's the big Pacheco guy. I mean, we got, Steele now. We got Hunt. You still got Oatmeal Pants Pirine back there. I mean, do you feel safe? I mean, I think being added to the practice squad, I think's the kiss of death because, I mean, unless they elevate him on Saturday or game day, he's not playing. So do we trust Steele? Do we trust Pirine on passing downs? I mean, what are you doing with this backfield?
It's a big mess right now, man. Moment of silence for our hero Pacheco.
Right. I was going to say, like, one of the injury issues is that a lot of the guys that have gotten hurt are guys that have been proving you right early in these few weeks, and then they go down, and you're like, I was just on the path I was expected to be on.
Yeah, definitely. I had him in my top 10, not necessarily number 5 like Zubikis, but he was, the path was clear. If you look at Pacheco's history, like to end the year last year, he was on fire, started the year great, was getting the workload. And, if you saw the injury, if you didn't see the injury, go look at it, but it was pretty random. It's not something that happens all the time, and very unfortunate. And now I actually called Scott and Sean, because I was excited about the Kareem Hunt signing.
I was wondering if you were going to bring that up or not.
Well, yeah, dude, I kind of wanted to jump on and kind of just make a little 5-minute short talking about how excited I was. Farewell to Pacheco, but the game goes on, and I'm old enough to remember when Kareem Hunt, missed 5 games and still finished as an RB1 when he was with the Chiefs his second year. I think that was Mahomes' first year playing as a starter. But I mean, he was on fire then. And the latest blurb is, I think they said, Kareem Hunt still got it. It's just about getting him up to speed with the offense. And I didn't expect it to happen this week, so I have a lot of Carson still because I had a lot of Pacheco. Naturally, I wanted his handcuff or his what I perceived to be his handcuff. Not a fan of Pirine, but I have 2 leagues where I'm rolling out Carson still. Just kind of crossing my fingers and hoping he hits a little bit. But next week I have way more Kareem Hunt than I have either of those guys.
Yeah, I mean, suggestion too, Scott, because I get a little confused when you say Oatmeal Pants about Pirine and Elliott. So can we start calling Pirine maybe cinnamon apple oatmeal pants or something that you can just kind of change it up a little bit so that I can distinguish between which oatmeal pants you're talking about?
Well, I mean, we could
Cream of wheat
start
pants.
calling Samaje, mashed potato pants if you want. I mean, it's
Oh, there
all,
you go. Okay, I like that. That
yeah, I
works.
mean, it's all
Just,
the same.
just something to distinguish the two, whatever it takes, because I get a little confused sometimes between the two. We can't have two oatmeal pantses in the league. We got to have some sort of difference.
Yeah, oatmeal pants is it's not it's more of a syndrome that these players get when they hit a certain age, and they just don't look the same on the field, and it just they get fitted for that diaper, and it just fills up with oatmeal and mashed potatoes, and they're not the same. So we will move on from food, and we will get into
before we move on, if you guys haven't seen it, there is a short on our YouTube channel, and it's Scott talking about AJ Dillon, another oatmeal pants, going on the IR. Thank God.
26-year-old oatmeal pants.
yes.
Go watch it.
Yeah, he was he fitted for that diaper early in his career. So anyway, so we'll move on. We are going to talk about the one-sided beatdown from last night. The Aaron Rodgers led New York Jets against the Jacoby Brissett led New England Patriots. And this game was just kind of boring to watch. I didn't really watch a whole lot of it. I didn't really care about everyone gloating over Aaron Rodgers and running around and throwing against.
Oh God, you want to talk about gloating? Like Kirk Herbstreit was like ridiculous. I was like, bro, that was like a 15-yard out that I could throw at 42 years old. Like, don't act like that pass that he made was just this amazing pass and proves he's back.
Yeah. Well, go on. We'll go on, Sean. I was going to segue right into you because this is your division. So, go right ahead and let me know what you thought about the game.
Well, I mean, obviously the Jets looked better than they did early or in week one, right? Like that's no obvious there. But they were playing the Patriots, number one. We all expected the Patriots to be better. They've been slightly overachieving. So, that was kind of like a come to Jesus type of game, really, for both those teams, in my opinion. But I still don't think the Jets look like they're going to be competitive with a solid squad. Aaron Wood didn't look like he was like Aaron of old, the way that, old Herbie was trying to hype him up. Like, he looked good. He looked like an average quarterback, but I wouldn't call him the old Aaron by any means. So, he doesn't have the same squad. Garrett Wilson's really good. I think that connection looked solid. I think Breece Hall looks solid. I like Braylon Allen a lot. So I think they'll be competitive. I think they'll be a solid team, but I don't see them as like challenging the Bills for the division by any means. And Patriots are what we thought they were. Ramondre Stevenson, I think this was a one-off. I still think he's a valuable player. I would think that selling him low right now would be a mistake.
Hey, okay. Alex, we'll go to you. What do you think about the Patriots here on their side? I mean, looks like Stevenson might have nicked his finger up a little bit. Looks like Gibson got a little bit of run. Looks like Hunter Henry is, back down to earth. I mean, is this just a one-off, or is this what we're going to look at from now on with these Patriots?
Well, that Jets defense, man. I mean, they are top notch, aren't they? I mean,
they beat the crap out of one of the best offenses in football, right?
So, as far as Ramondre goes, man, I don't know, dude. I was expecting kind of a downer game, but I didn't think it would be that bad. And as soon as they called that run up the gut, and I saw him take that handoff, and those linebackers waiting for him, I thought it was going to be a fumble. It was a fumble, and of course he's sat on the bench for the rest of the night, and there went any chance of any kind of fantasy value redemption.
I do hate that reaction by any coach, by the way. If a player fumbles the ball and you sit him, I feel like you're doing more damage than you are good for that player.
Oh, absolutely. You got to take a psychological hit at that point. Just beat yourself up for the rest of the night with no chance of redeeming yourself. Go out there and try hard. If he does it again, put him on the bench, but give him a chance to go out there and prove something,
Not to mention he's the guy that got paid this offseason too. Right? He's your guy, he's
your guy. Him and Hunter Henry are you guys.
He has a big fumble history too.
So
All right,
tough, man.
all right. Well, I'm going to move on to Zach real quick. Zach, before we get off this putrid of a game, it's looking like that Braylon Allen is going to be involved in this offense. Now, if you're Breece Hall owner, I mean, it's not too concerning because he did get 16 carries. He did get another 5 targets out of the backfield, caught all 4 balls. But going forward, does Allen have standalone value now?
I think he's in your like Jordan Mason like high end handcuff. I think he's like was in the last 2 weeks. I think it's been like a 60-40 split or something like that. I'm not if I'm a Breece owner, like yeah, I was hoping for a Bill Kell like usage this year, but then I don't mind him being scaled back a little bit because he's getting most of the targets.
Yeah.
We playing mostly PPR league, so I'm not worried there. Like when it comes to the final, I'm not expecting, CMC value out of him, like prime CMC value out of him, but I'm expecting, still, a top 5 RB even with Braylon Allen there. He's the one falling in the end zone. He's the one getting the targets. I'm not too worried.
If I'm a Breece Hall owner or maybe if I'm not a Breece Hall owner and Dynasty, and I want to acquire Allen, what's it going to cost me?
Well, I think Allen was going in the 3rd in Dynasty drafts mostly, I believe.
Late 3rd.
So I'd expect at least a 2. Like I'm not spending any more than that. It's like I'm basically when McCaffrey went down and Jordan Mason got the call, I'm paying whatever that value was. So around a 2, maybe 2 2s, but I'm not going any higher than that. I do have to say though, Braylon Allen looks really, really good.
I'm telling you,
I'm surprised that he went so low in the actual NFL draft.
I'll tell you what, the Jets don't do a whole lot right, but they hit a home run when they I can't believe the Jets got him. I can't believe a lot of other teams passed on him, but he's just a bulldozer. He can catch. I mean, he's a great fit for that. Is a 1-2 punch in that offense. But I mean, if I'm a Breece Hall owner, I'm not super concerned in Dynasty. It just I like I said, I think if I could acquire him, I think I would just acquire him just to try to use put him on my bench in case anything ever happened to Hall. So
Cowboys and Niners passed on him.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that crazy? The Cowboys. Yeah. I mean, they need a back.
Imagine him on the Cowboys.
It's crazy, man.
The Cowboys really. I'm surprised that we went through 7 rounds. They didn't draft a single running back, and there's obviously they're waiting for next year, but they had guys that were there.
You don't have to wait for next year if you're in the 5th round.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like at that point, like what's it matter anyway? Half those guys are getting cut after 2 years.
They're not. Most guys aren't getting second contracts, so it's like you might as well, get a guy lower than you have to. I'm sure a lot of those guys next year, your like Jenkins and stuff are going to go like in the 2nd, 3rd rounds, So,
I mean, you had the best running back in the class coming out in your home state, and you just pass on him.
Hey, shout out to Zach here, Z-Dub. He's always been the guy that I go and talk rookies with because the dude knows his stuff. Him and Connor would actually get along because they have similar knowledge on the rookies, and
does anybody get along with Connor?
Love Connor. Leave Connor alone. But no, they have so much in common, and it would be cool to have the 2 of you guys do like a rookie segment or something during the offseason next year.
Yeah, maybe want to go like leading up into the NFL draft. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, well, like here at Ballsville, we're 365 days a year fantasy. So even when the Super Bowl ends, we're right into drafting. We're right into rookies. I mean, we're always going to have a podcast once a week going over this stuff. So definitely tune in. You can go look at our archives, and we were talking rookies and drafts right after the Super Bowl. So like I said, we're the one-stop shop for all your fantasy needs. So we're going to transition into some Dynasty talk. That's why we brought in Zach, and Zach's a Dynasty, runs a lot of the leagues, game manages them. And we're going to talk a little bit of our mini leagues that we drafted early, and we got some leaders that we're going to run off. So I'm going to hand the floor over to you, Zach, and you can roll out the Dynasty.
Yeah, no, the the Dragons of Dynasty. I'm the league manager for all 16. Yeah, it's been exciting stuff this year. You know, like I love Dynasty. You know, it's not quite. You know, it's like it's fantasy, but you're controlling controlling your team's fate for for the lifetime of the league. So it's you saw different moves. You know, you have guys that are like from the draft, you guys that are looking to rebuild and picking up draft picks, and you guys are going more towards the competing now and having some of the older players. But it's been exciting to watch. We have a couple of active leagues here. We've had a few trades in the in 14 of 16 Tiamat. We've had a few in the Blue Eyes White Dragon League. It's been exciting to see. Yeah, they like if we're going through league to league, we have some leaders, like we have Chiefs Life, 13. He's up there in a lot of them. We have Jay Morris. He's high in the league. El Super Bisto. He's up there in I think 2 in all stewing, and also I believe he's also up there in there's another one he's up in.
He's in a lot.
Yeah, he's in a lot of them. And El Capitan Westlex, he's leading in a few of those as well. So yeah, it's a
got a lot more leaders than I do.
Yeah.
Hold on, guys. We need to. I'm gonna say the names of these dragons because the nerd in me is screaming out that I can't believe some of you guys.
No,
don't
I
know.
want to hear Scott try it. Actually,
No,
let's
I'm
hear
not
Scott try, and then you say what it actually is.
Please,
I
yeah.
already got chastised for calling the one league knob slob or whatever. So I already got chastised. I'm all done.
I think we should just change it to that name. That's perfect.
I'm all done with the characters.
Somebody call HR because Noob Saibot. It's a character from Mortal Kombat. He's a little shadow ninja, whatever.
I know.
So
I feel like Scott's better.
So yeah, Zach is our manager for the Dragons of Dynasty. We have all this cool stuff that's been building up. We started off with the original 4 leagues. That was Shenron from Dragon Ball Z, Alduin from Skyrim, Smog, Lord of the Rings, and Bahamut from Final Fantasy. So it's pretty nerdy, right? And then we expanded to 10 leagues. We hit Charizard, know where that's from, Toothless, Deathwing and Slitherix or Skitherix. They're from like Magic the Gathering, Dungeons and Dragons and stuff. Haku's from anime. Lareth, Alstawing, Tsunami, literature. Ghidorah, it's one of the Godzilla characters. Tiamat, he's everywhere. Shadow, the Shadow Dragon, and Blue Eyes from Yu-Gi-Oh! Yeah, so that's how nerdy we get.
I have to ask, dude, what version of Dungeons and Dragons is Toothless in?
Yeah, Disney. So while we're on the subject, so the way that this webpage is set up, and if you guys aren't on the website, go check the website out, dude. It's like they said, we put in tons of time and effort into this, learning web design over the last 2 months. Our new page is here, Scoreboard. You can leave comments on the Discord regarding it. So the way that it's set up is this is going to be a one-stop shop for if you're in any of our games, you can go and you can look at the scoreboard. So Dynasty looks this way. The mini leagues is going to have the spreadsheet approach. And then in the championship weeks, you'll be able to click on these images. It's going to give you a list of all the leagues in that division. And so for the Nintendo League, you'll have these leagues available and they'll be locked. And when we're doing our wagering process, the moment that, say right here, Chief Life and Mario decides he wants to wager for the championship, that league is going to become unlocked and it's going to be, noted on the website. So then if you're debating whether or not you want to wager, You can actually go into the league and go and see how his team looks and verify scores yourself, make sure settings are the same. And the whole idea is to have everything centralized so that you have instant information at your fingertips. These will be links to spreadsheets.
All in one easy location.
Yeah, exactly. So here you can see, screenshots of the leaders. And then these are locked as well, but they'll eventually become, open if somebody wagers, and it's an actual invite to the league. We prefer, that everybody doesn't jump in and out of the leagues and disrupt the players, but you will be able to jump in and verify scores and settings, and whoever beats you, you can go and make sure everything's legit, because that's how we operate, right?
And Alex deserves a huge round of applause for everything he's done on this website. All of this that you're seeing here was all done by Alex on his free time from his 2 jobs and his family. So it's pretty amazing compared to, the time that he has to put into it and how far along he's gone.
Thank you, sir.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah,
like I said, we're trying to create this for you guys. I mean, this website's for you guys. And I mean, I love it. I mean, I'm on it every day. I'm updating tools, looking at work that Alex has been doing. And, it's, even people that I've shown that aren't even really into fantasy football said, wow, this is a pretty cool website for a bunch of rookies doing it. So, we had to learn on the fly doing this, and I think it looks pretty good. So, so if we're all good with the dynasty, Alex, you want to get over into the mini leagues?
Yeah, we could do that. We had Zubikis, who's the mini leagues manager. He took the time. So we're not going to be able to update scores every week, because that's just so time consuming. So managers, have free will to update whenever they feel comfortable. And Zubikis took the time to update all 40 leagues of the mini.
In between his bear hunts and eagle raising,
Yeah. Yeah, way up in
ice fishing.
So, all right, well, I'll give it a go. I'll start off with Division 100, which is the Nintendo division. I think I remember playing some Nintendo when I was younger, so I can relate to some of these names.
You gonna get these names right?
Yeah, I think I can get these names right. So in the 101, the Mario division, the week 2 leader is Chief Life 13. His score is 364. We go to League 2, Luigi, Ralphie 58.
Luigi.
His score is 352. We then have Samos 103 League, which is White Knight 1988. His score is 371. League 4 Mega Man, K Doggy Dog. He's up there with 359. We have League 5 Bowser, T Price 269. 361 is his score. We have League 6 would be Link. Freeman C 2447, 384 points. Leagues 107 is DK. Red Kingdom 10, 350. League 108 is Yoshi. That's C-Bomb. He's one of our panelists. His score is 352. We got Wario, League 9, C-Sims, C-Sim 52. His score is 321. And then our last league, number 10 is, I don't know. I'm gonna have to hack this name. Well, Waluigi. And
Waluigi.
Okay. And that's
we can tell when you aged out of Nintendo.
yeah, exactly, probably right. And that's led by El Super Biesto, and his score is 346. So that is the Nintendo League and Mini League, and we will move on to the next league, and I'm gonna hand that over to Alex.
Right on. Thank you. Shout out to Chief's Life, who's one of our regulars. He's been with us since I think like year 2 or 3. Ralphie, who's in the chat now, Connor, and Al Super Biesto.
I believe he's our most experienced team player also.
And look who we start Division 2 with. So Division 2 is PlayStation. These images, I like these images too. They're pretty custom. Al Super Biesto leads Crash. 202 is Spyro. That's White Knight again. And here we go. 203, 204, 205, Freeman C 2447. and he shows up again in 207. Wow, pretty impressive. Og in 206, Snake. 208, King. Jubles, 13. 209, Cloud, Mash Robots, and 210, we have Chief's Life again.
I'd be curious to know how many of those leagues he's in. Is he in only those ones and in the top in all of the ones he joined?
No, Chief's Life is one of our primary supporters. He loves
I'm sorry. I'm speaking about the other man, the gentleman
that
has the free man that's in like all 5 of those leagues. I wonder how many more of this division he joined. That'd be crazy to be in the lead in all 5 of the leagues he joined, you know?
That's a good question. I can actually look that up by checking his amount on LeagueSafe. It'll give me a divided by 4 will tell me how many leagues he's in. I could do that in a second. So in 208, Drew Blez has the highest score of the whole game, and he's sitting at 401.
Wow. After 2 weeks, huh?
Yeah, that's pretty damn impressive. Okay, so we'll go back to Scott.
Does that score include Thursday's game or no?
If he has players, yeah, it will include it.
Okay.
Well, no, because this was done Wednesday night, so no, it doesn't.
So it's only week 2. It's up to the end of week 2 then. That's awesome.
Yes,
it's an average of 200 points a week. It's crazy.
Okay, that sounds great. Congratulations to the league leaders. We'll move over to the Division 300, which is Xbox, and League 1 is Master Chef, and that's by Drew Bless, 13. His score is 378. We got Phoenix League 2, KB 95. His score is 354. We have Alloy, the Nameless King, 389. Ezio, and that's led by GLC 76, Carolina Panther fan, if I remember. 369 is his score. We have Doom Guy sitting at the top. It's S-Clam, Bill's Mafia. He's sitting up there at 365. League 6, we have Steve. Is the name of the league. It's C Sims 52. He's at 369. League 7, Geralt. It's Simp Topic. 354 is his score. League 8 is MRVN. It's El Presidente Westlex is leading that at 359. League 9 is Dragonborn. That's Steb 20, 385. And then the leader of the whole league at 391, it's Wanderer, League number 10, Sticky Picky.
Nice.
That's crazy because how we drafted these leagues. So you guys know these drafts were months ago.
Yeah.
So, you know, like the difference between what these drafts were and what they would have probably been now is drastic.
Yeah. So the mini leagues, they're 12-team best ball, which makes the scores more impressive because it's 12-team and not 10 compared to our big leagues. These are all way too early best ball. These are before the NFL draft. So we have no idea what rosters are going to be shifted after the draft. So we start these. I think we actually drafted the first one here the day of the Super Bowl, if I'm not mistaken.
That's crazy.
So we really don't have an off season. We get right into it. And
there was no off season in football.
Exactly. So what I was trying to show over here didn't really want to load. You can find these on the website under the mini league section. All the games have their own page, and they have little videos that correspond with the divisions. So you can kind of see the characters like Master Chef from Halo, Phoenix from Gears of War and stuff. So just things like that. You guys can check those out on your own time. We're not going to plague you with them. They're also on our TikTok and everything. So we'll jump into division number 4 real quick. And familiar names, Drew Blez for Pitfall Harry. Sticky Picky is actually he won the mini leagues last year, and I think he took home like $460, and there was only like 10 leagues or so. So he made out pretty good off a $4 entry. Cornhusking Dog twice. JM Hubs, who's a familiar Ballsville name, C Sins as well. There's our podcaster Ludes. Well done.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
And this is the only mini league, if I remember, that I got in. So next year I'm gonna plan on getting in a lot more. But I mean, 1 for 1, man.
Batting 1,000, hell yeah. Murph 86, KZR, who was one of our big winners from the redraft game last year, and Thorell. A lot of these are familiar names. One thing I can say about our players is there's a lot of BS leagues out there. So in our eyes, we do right by you. You guys all get paid out for winning. We just facilitate a fun game and hopefully see you back.
Awesome.
Yeah, they're definitely enjoyable, especially at that time of year because there's really not a lot of drafting going on yet.
Yep. All right. Well, that wraps up the Dynasty and mini league section of our pod, and we're gonna do something like I said, like we talked about earlier. We're gonna go back in time, and we're gonna see how if we were very smart or very dumb. And we're gonna go. We had a couple. We called them big mock drafts that we did. I think we did one at the end of April, if I remember, and the one at the end of July. So we're going to bring up the April's draft, and these were 10-team. We just did mock drafts, and they were most of the people were the panel, game managers, and we're going to and Alex actually deciphered guys that were hurt, and we're going to break down this board and see where possibly we went wrong in our drafting, and Zach can help us out with this. I don't think Zach was in this one, but he can help us.
I did not participate,
and he can laugh at our picks. But I'm gonna go. We can see right here the draft board. There's 10 teams, and obviously, it looked like.
Was it now? Correct me if I'm wrong, Scott. This was the league that we each drafted
Yeah.
a spot as it came around. So the four of us were picking one team together. Is that correct?
Yeah, I got it now. Yeah, I had the wrong board up, so I don't have this board up on my computer, but I'll look at it from here. So, okay, so it looks like El Super Biesto avoided the bomb, and he made the smart move by taking it. Statistically is which is the least injured position, and he took a wide receiver in Tyreek Hill and avoided that mine or landmine with Christian McCaffrey.
Pass it right on over to Alex there.
And slid him over to Alex. Alex actually got nailed twice with the AJ Brown coming around, but it looks like there's the Puka was probably a big one. Everyone I kind of was beating the drum that he probably went a little too high. But I'll send this over to Z, and looking at this board, what sticks out to you?
Looking at the board here, I'm on my phone, so it's real small for me.
If you have any questions, feel free. I can break them down for you.
No, I'm looking at, like, after Christian McCaffrey, the running backs went a little low. Your Bijan, Reese's. I think they should have been the back end of the first. And then it's like it's hard to predict, with all these injuries and stuff. But I think
right. Yeah, like it doesn't matter. There's no X's, man. Like we can't predict X's. These are what X's are coming and when. Yeah,
and it's like it's especially with we circle back to Christian McCaffrey. It's like he had the 2019 season where he was incredible, and then 2020 and 2021 he's injury filled, and then he got traded and everything and had a small injury, but then last year he was healthy all year. It's like, okay, maybe he's turned the page, and then nope, little calf popped up. Oh, if it was a regular season, he would have played. And look at that, coach speak, and now we're IR filled, and Jordan Mason's the RB1 for the Niners. So it's
you gotta have short memories on the field, but not in fantasy.
Yeah.
What sticks out to me is there was 11 quarterbacks taken in the top 26 picks, which just shows you how aggressive the panel went after quarterbacks in a super flex league. So, in my opinion, that's the way I would like to draft. So I would be highly upset if I was in this league because I'm like, God, everybody's taking my strategy. So that's what kind of stuck out to me. What about you, Sean?
Excuse me. Other than what you guys already mentioned, the fact that JJ dropped all the way out to the top two spot, I thought was pretty, looking back on that, obviously, we feel like that was a mistake. The way that JJ is playing, I think that definitely would have changed the outcome there. It's definitely quarterback heavy, I feel like, and not nearly as running back heavy as I would think that it would be now. Just with all the injuries that have happened at running back, I think just like Zach talked about, people would be more inclined to go running back early, and they'd be able to chase down the receivers later on. So I feel like if they were to be changed up at all right now, based on just after the first few weeks, I think you're looking at a climb on the running back position.
And then with all the injuries, Alex, I mean, you did all the X's. I mean, some teams just got hammered on here with injuries. But I mean, is there any player that
team that lost their first two picks?
Is there any player that that I see that you have 3 X's next to your name? If you were to go back in time, is there any player on your draft board there that you on your team that you would have possibly passed on?
Well, this is one of the only leagues where I took A.J. Brown, and I kind of took him out of necessity because he fell so far. I wouldn't have taken Puka if he was there, but I probably would have went quarterback at that point. Probably would have been Jordan Love, So
and we did miss the Justin Herbert. I think Tortoise brought it up. The Justin Herbert X. He should be having X for the high ankle sprain on him right now, but that just popped up I think today or yesterday. So it's a fresh injury.
You guys think he misses this week?
There's potentially will. They say he's got a high ankle.
Going off of last year where he played with a broken finger, I could see him pushing through that injury.
And do we have Mixon locked out of here too? Somebody brought it up. No, we Mixon as well. Yeah, so there's even more injuries on than we even had. Like they're coming up so dang fast, we couldn't even keep up with them, guys.
Yeah, I think I did mention the Mixon injury because I was chastising Tortoise for jumping on and taking Cam Akers from underneath my finger when I was just about ready to hit the button in the triathlon league. Thanks there, Tortoise.
Well, he's gonna love to hear that too.
Well, yeah, for sure. So either or, guys.
Ferguson and Njoku too. Good point.
Yeah. Well, Ferguson's back.
Yeah,
Ferguson's back in the lineup. Njoku's out. Either or, guys. Would you play Justin Herbert or Geno Smith?
Is this assuming he's healthy, right?
This week.
Go Geno.
I'd say Geno too. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Geno for sure. I think
especially with Walker out.
Yeah, I think Herbert's kind of on the low volume passing rate. I feel like they're leaning into the J.K. Dobbins situation.
Yeah, as long as he's healthy, I don't think Herbert is he's your third QB at best, hopefully. Which means he's on your bench.
Got you. All right, we got another board. We have another board. Or you guys set with this board? Is there anything else that kind of like pops out at all?
Right here, Stephon Diggs. We talked about this. So this is a 10-team board. This is Stephon Diggs at pick 30, 310. And going at pick 54 is Nico Collins. I think those can swap.
Yeah, 100%. I think we talked about so this is going to be a reoccurring theme going forward in the other boards that we show is we'll be able to possibly see the gap closing and Nico being over Stephon Diggs. But
as far as the biggest steal for me right now, I think just looking at the board as this way the season's gone on, it's got to be Jameson Williams in the 10-4 spot.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
So far at least. You could argue Brock Bowers, I guess, but I think Jameson is better.
How about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8? How about Chris Godwin in the 9th round?
Right.
I mean, that's really good too.
One right now, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean,
That's really good too. I mean,
That's-
it's crazy to look at like how much different it'll be in just a few weeks. You know,
I mean, James Conner in the 9th round.
it's crazy, man. It's
What's crazy is that Brock Bowers continued to fall down draft boards.
yeah.
Oh, I
I
got
think
we,
it was
we didn't know
quarterback.
how the Raiders were going to utilize him either. Year
yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
that's-
mean, he's well on his way to tight end 1 this year at this point. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
geez, the way the tight end position's looking in general, and the way he's performing in that offense, it's crazy.
All right. Do we got another board?
Do we have a second board to pop up here, Alex?
We have one more in the Discord. I can pull it up real quick.
Awesome. Yeah, I can
Go ahead and fill
definitely
it.
help with that here. Let me go ahead and get out of your way, Alex, and you can slide that over real quick if you beat me to it. I'm sorry I did not have that loaded up. I was not positive on the second board.
Okay, this one might be a little bit harder to see. Let's see.
Is this which one is this one? Is this one the Big Mock 2 or Big Mock 1?
So these aren't the mock drafts. So the first board we were looking at is it's the first draft of the big game. So it's the one we did immediately the NFL draft in April.
Oh.
And this would be from Division 12, League 8. This is the last draft we did right at the beginning of August.
That explains everything.
Yep.
I love it.
Mm-hmm. Division 12, 8. Division 12, League 8. I can't even see it.
So we're looking at Alex. I believe this is the
same board. It's the same board. One sec.
Yes.
Here it is.
We are going to get this right, ladies and gentlemen. You just bear with us. We have technological difficulties, but we will make it through.
This is
Make
it.
There we go. Yeah, that's the one I remember. So look at in this one here, you saw this is after the last draft, and this guy still took McCaffrey, so it wasn't quite to that point yet with McCaffrey, where
He's 101 in a lot of these drafts.
yeah, it was tough to pass him at that point. You still had no idea, and just the potential of him, it was hard to move on.
Yeah,
There's
11
quarterbacks.
11 quarterbacks still going in the top 3 rounds, which is
But look at the difference. You've only got
These are
4 in
creeping
the
up.
first round. So you 4 in the first round versus 6 in the last first round. So I mean that puts a lot of like the Justin Jeffersons and the Amon Ra's into the second round of that last draft compared to this one.
Yep.
This kind of brings up a point that we talked about a lot when we were first into these drafts and stuff, and we were doing these early episodes, is that early on people were tagging the quarterback quick and a lot. And then as the drafts went on and people started to notice that other people weren't really hitting on these quarterbacks as early, it started to move the position down the board in general. And you were able to wait on that position to an extent where in my last few drafts, being a quarterback heavy guy, I was taking 2 running backs or a running back and a receiver and waiting on a quarterback because I was still able to snag some decent ones. Yeah, we know about Kincaid, Trevor. We know all about that. It's still early, son. Still early.
You got kicked in the head, dude. Nobody wants to acknowledge that. You can go and see he was off to a decent start. He got kicked in the head and he was out for a quarter and a half while they evaluated him. And then he came back in the 4th and they didn't need him. It's not like he's out there not running routes, not getting open and stuff. He just wasn't necessary. He'll be fine.
Yeah, Trevor just likes to bring that up because he knows how much I love Kincaid and not my build.
Fault, yes.
He's a needle, just likes to poke. He's a poker.
That's crazy. So okay, so we'll look into this board here. And is there anything else, Zach? Can you see the board?
Yeah, it's pretty small on my end. I'm having a hard time seeing it. Might want to skip me, unless you want to see my ugly mug looking real close to the screen.
No worries, brother.
Cool.
There is a way to maximize your screen on StreamYard. If you want to mess with that, you're more than welcome to give it a shot.
All right, yeah.
But just to give you an idea, we do have Brees and Bijan because we talked about that on the last board. They actually went at the end of the first, top of the second round in this one. So they did go earlier, but Jameer still fell all the way to the second to last pick in the second round. So it was a slight bump on the running backs based on the time gap and like how we kind of talked about things happening, but it definitely still feel like, and like we talked about earlier, that the running backs should have been targeted sooner.
Here's something that stands out. So I remember part of the conversation that we had was Marvin Harrison going at the end of the second round. We didn't agree with it then. Well, some of us. How do we feel about that now?
I still don't agree with it. I'm just kidding. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, well, and you got to put Neighbors in that boat too. I mean, Neighbors is going to just be a target hog this year.
Look at the difference. Neighbors at 5'5" and Harrison at 210. I'll take the Neighbors side of that all day long.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, great value. I remember Daniel was talking about the big gap between those two and what a value Neighbors was going to be.
Yeah, I super remember a lot of people laughing at me for taking Neighbors in the early third round, telling me that it was the stupidest pick of my draft, and that seems to be working out so far.
I mean, I know it's only been
even though I did trade him to you, Alex.
Yeah. I know it's only been 2 games, but like I'm looking at my Target Hog tool on the website. You can go to and you can see that Target Hog tool on the ballsvillegame.com with all my other tools. Malik Neighbors is number 2 after 2 games of targets with 25. So, I mean, this guy's just going to get peppered with targets every week. Doesn't matter who's throwing him the ball.
I wish somebody would have mentioned that early in the preseason that he was potentially going to be a target hog.
Yeah. I know some panelists definitely were taking a discount with Neighbors and passing on Marvin Harrison Jr. But I still think Marvin Harrison Jr. is gonna demand some targets, maybe just not as much as Neighbors because he also has McBride in there. James Conner's gonna get some.
Speaking of that, I think that is the highest scoring game of the week. The Detroit game, I think it's the highest scoring game of the week this week.
Yeah, believe it or not, too, I'm like Jameson Williams is 5th in the league in targets, 20 targets, 5th in the league. I mean,
where's Amon-Ra falling? So where's the Amon-Ra falling, and then where do you think about that? Are you scared at all yet?
Amon-Ra's 3rd in the league with 25 targets. Jameson's 5th with 20 targets. So they're both right there. Throw some more guys out there. Nico Collins, we're talking about that, how the Texans receiving core is going to pan out. Nico Collins is 8th in the league with 18 targets. I don't even see. Diggs is 28th with 12 targets, and no Tank Dell in the top 40.
I wonder how long Cooper Kupp will stay in the top 15 with his like 29 targets or whatever it was before he got hurt.
Yeah. Some other guys that are interesting that they're just popping out. Like everyone thought, how's Devontae Adams going to play? He's 7th in the league with 18 targets after 2 games. So he's still up there. I think Devontae Smith will move up. He's 12 right now with 18 targets. And another guy who's who's up there, and he's actually over his or not really over. They're both in the top 13. So DK Metcalf has 18 targets. He's number 10, and Jackson Smith and Jigba, 18 targets. So I know he had 16 last game. So I think
last week.
Hopefully he stays up there and he gets a bigger target share in that offense.
You want a hot take? I think out of the 3 names you mentioned, Devontae Smith is the one who takes the biggest hit as the season goes on.
Yeah. Some guys that aren't really getting a lot of targets. I mean, Terry McLaurin. Now that Dotson's gone, I mean, he's only got 12 targets after 2 games. Jamar Chase, 11 targets after 2 games. So some guys that are just not performing. I wasn't on the Chase bandwagon like a lot of CBOM analysts were, going into the season. But, you got to take your lumps when they're there. Basically, I'll go to the bell call tool real quick. No surprise, Jordan Mason's up there, 48 attempts. Josh Jacobs, 48 attempts. Barkley, 46. Some surprising guys. Tony Pollard, everybody was poo-pooing on him. Pollard sitting up there at 33 attempts this year. Kamara, everybody, I know C-Bomb's a big Kamara guy. He hit on that, so I got to give him some credit. 35 carries after 2 weeks. Some underwhelming guys. Everyone thought Zamir White was going to be a thing, and he's only had 22 carries after 2 weeks. not a lot of volume there. Javonte Williams only 19 carries, and everyone thought Chuba Hubbard would take that roll and run, and he's only had 16 carries. So, that's just some statistics right there. Let you guys chew on for a little bit. So now we'll get into. I want to get into some start sit questions. If you guys that are listening have any start sit questions, any either ors, anything lineup decisions, anything like that. I'm going to go to Sean. Sean, is there anything that sticks out to you as far as like are you having a hard time with any of your lineup decisions that you're contemplating over?
I mean, all of my decisions are honestly just based on having to fill an injury gap right now. Like we touched on a few of them early on. It's usually, trying to come up with like, do I pick up a guy like Cam Akers and drop a guy like Javonte Williams because I have no other option on my bench to drop, and is that worth it for the 1 week? Because Javonte Williams is going to have a lot more usage for the season than anything like Cam Akers is going to bring to the table without injury. So, it's just those types of questions that I'm dealing with, and then figuring out who you're going to pop in there, like between say Ty Johnson, Tutu Atwell, Colby Parkinson. Like, what are you going to do with that offense? There's got to be somebody that kind of rises to the top, hopefully, right? So, which one do you think it'll be? That's kind of where I'm at right now with this. It's almost like, for lack of a better term, it feels like a shit show of a week, man. Just trying to patchwork everything together as best as you can and hope for the best.
All right, let's do a few either ors. I'm gonna throw some out there to you guys. I'll go to Zach. Zach, are you playing George Pickens or Jalen Waddle?
Yeah, that's a tough one. I think
I'm not going to give you easy ones. I'm going right to the hard one.
I'm probably leaning Pickens just because I'm not on the Skylar Thompson train. I think that George Pickens is getting the most usage. Like he's getting the most, being called on to be the most, doing the most wide receiver things. He's getting called on to get the first downs, like the key passes in key situations. I'm probably going with Pickens over Waddle. I just, again, not a Skylar Thompson guy. Tyreek Hill is still healthy. I think Tyreek Hill has a better shot of any upside, just because you just have to hope that he's going to land in the end zone because he's fast. Well, they're both fast, but Tyreek Hill has a little more like agility and like just nose for the end zone.
Those scheme touches for him.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm leaning Pickens.
Okay, Pickens. All right, Alex, I'm not going to let you off the hook. These two guys have been poo-pooing the bed for the last 2 weeks. Are you playing Travis Kelce or Sam Laporta?
Oh, man.
What kind of draft were you in that got both those guys?
Kelsey's playing. Yeah, right.
Hey, I'm in a league right now where I'm trying to, and I think I talked to you guys before. I have T. Higgins. I need a tight end. I'm dying, and I'm trying to offer this guy T. Higgins. He wants T. Higgins, and he's offering me Kelce or Kincaid. He's got both of them, and I'm trying to.
Right.
Yeah, it's redraft. So I'm trying, and all these questions are redraft for this week. So not like dynasty going forward to who you playing.
My answer is going to be based off opponent alone because Casey's playing the Falcons, and the Falcons.
And the Lions are playing Arizona.
They're playing Arizona, and Arizona has been putting up points, and they're not going to stop now. I think Arizona's going to go over the top of that Lions defense and score those points, and Lions are going to have to keep up. And there's got to be a game plan to stop what Jameson Williams and Amon-Ra do, and with Laporta getting off to the slow start, I'm pretty sure that they're going to want to get him going and ramped up. And so I would play Laporta over Kelce this week.
Got you. All right, Sean, this one's for you. Are we going to get two kind of underwhelming receivers? One for sure. Are we playing? Is it time for Brandon Ayuk this week, or would you rather play Chris Olave and that high-flying New Orleans Saints offense?
I think I'm taking Ayuk, man, just because the Debo being out and McCaffrey being out. I just think that Ayuk is going to have more of a role for them to be competitive in any game at this point. So I've got to go with the Ayuk. You know,
And
a lot
Kittle's out too.
44 points, and Olave's been there, so I don't.
Yeah, and
you know.
yeah, and Zach made a good point. Kittle's out too.
Oh, see, there you go. Yeah, it's even more so Ayuk than. I think it's almost like that makes it almost like a no-brainer, really.
What if Ayuk doesn't perform this week? Well, we're gonna hit that panic meter.
I would just say not necessarily, but I mean I could see why you would be scared. I wouldn't sell him. I maybe bench him for a week or two, but I wouldn't sell him.
Yeah, he better perform this week because, like we talked about, everybody's out. So I mean, you know, he's got to live up to that contract. I mean,
If he doesn't perform, who does? That's a good question. Out of the rest
Jacob
of the
Cowing.
I think I'm going after Old Faithful, Jawan Jennings, man.
That's where I'm leaning to.
I wish I wasn't on the IR, man. I had a lot of players. So.
Jawan Jennings. So, all right, we'll go around the horn real quick one more time. We'll go to Zach. These two RBs have been really good this year, and you probably were able to get them probably the middle of your draft, maybe a little bit later. We got.
Did I just start a fight? I'm sorry, Scott. I don't mean to interrupt you, but I just don't want to make sure I didn't just start a fight in Alex's household over here by picking Ayuk over Olave, because it looks like his wife doesn't agree with me in the chat. So I just want to make sure that you're going to be okay after this pod.
I love you too, man.
That's funny.
Waka.
Yeah, anybody that starts the questions, man, just shoot them up. So that's what we're here. It's Friday, so we'll answer the questions. So Zach, J.K. Dobbins or Brian Robinson Jr.
Who do the Commanders play again?
Dobbins is at Pittsburgh. Robinson at Cincinnati.
I'm a Bengals fan, and their
I'm sorry.
run D has been very porous this year. I'm probably going Brian Robinson, just especially with no Herbert, and I just think that they're gonna stack the boxes and Dobbins, and I think this is gonna be the first week where he comes back down to earth. I think Brian Robinson against Cincinnati and their porous run D is going to be. I think I'd lean Robinson this week.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they're going to give Gus Bust some more carries this week too. He didn't get much.
Yeah, so let me ask you guys, I love that comparison actually for a question that I'm curious to see what your guys' opinion is. Do you take any stock in the fact that one of them plays in the last game of the week on Monday night? And do you prefer to have a guy then to get those last minute points, or does that sway your opinion one way or another when it's a really close call? Is that a factor at all?
No, I don't really care when they play.
Yeah, just curious.
Yeah, I mean, I know Thursday night games tend to be like a little more low scoring. It's less rest for the players, have to hurry up and rehab and then get to that Thursday game, especially if they're injured. So if a guy's injured on Sunday and he's got to turn around and play a Thursday night game, there's a possibility I may play somebody else over them unless they're like a stud. So that's usually what I do with that situation.
Connor, nice comment, dude. I'm a 49er fan, so I'll carry the load for everybody. Did you see this one, Scott?
No. Wow, the Bengals Lions and Bills fan meet up. Oh, geez.
I thought he was going the Tigers, Lions, and Bears on my kind of reference, but no, he had to pull the Super Bowl card.
Scott, I got one for you. This is a legitimate question because I have this in one of my better leagues. Are you playing Baker Mayfield? Start two, okay? Baker Mayfield, Derek Carr, or Josh Allen?
You got to start two?
Yep.
Okay. Well, what I usually do when I have those quandaries is I go over to the Ballsville Ultimate Matchup tool on our website, and I go right to my tool, and that just helps me break down everything. So if I'm looking at the tool correctly, Josh Allen is playing versus Jacksonville, and he has the number 8 matchup coming into this week. You said Baker was the other one. He's the number 13 matchup of the week. And what was the third quarterback?
It was Derek Carr.
It was Derek Carr.
Oh, Derek Carr. Derek Carr. Derek Carr is a 7 matchup. So looking at this tool, I would go Derek Carr, and I would go Josh Allen.
Exactly.
Okay. I'm gonna roll with it. I'm gonna sit Baker against the Broncos. Probably what I would have done anyways.
There you go. So see how the tool can help.
What's your pick 'em for your last man standing if you're in one? What's your pick 'em this week?
Oh, jeez. I don't play pick'ems, but
I mean, what's the one game that you think is the most likely going to be a victory, and what for whichever team?
Oh, like for sure, if you're picking this team's gonna win.
Yes.
Oh, let's see here. I'll look real quick.
For me, it's between the Bucks and the Bengals for me.
The Bucks versus Denver.
Yeah, it's either the Bucks or the Bengals are the two teams I would take. I'm back and forth on those two teams. But
yeah, I don't see the Bengals going 0-3. They got to get it together against the Commanders.
And I think this is the week that Jamar Chase actually, goes off, because I think the Commanders are 32nd ranked against wide receivers over the past 2 years. I think this is the year that they actually. This is the week that Jamar Chase actually takes off.
I think if there's a week to take the Seahawks, this will be the week. Miami, no Tua. They got to travel the farthest distance that any team will travel in the U.S., going from Miami all the way up to Seattle and playing the Seahawks. So I'm taking the Seahawks in that game. That should be guaranteed victory.
See, that's a great point to prove, Miami going all the way across the country to the Seahawks to play the Seahawks in their home. And we know how hard it is to play over there. Great take.
It's a very similar thing when you're talking Carolina flying to Vegas. They're doing the same kind of trip, and that team, the way they've been playing, like Vegas would not be a bad pick right now either.
Yeah.
How do you guys like Dalton this week?
Huh? Dalton?
Yeah.
Dalton didn't look that bad last year in his 1 week as a starter.
You know what? I would not take Vegas. I mean, I know Sean's talking, Vegas might be going too, but you know what? I'm not going to take a quarterback change and bet against them. I mean, I just think this is the NFL. I mean, this is the National Fake You Out League. Just like, New Orleans going into Dallas and doing that. I mean, nobody thought that was going to happen. So I don't put anything past. I mean, new quarterback. I think I would just stay away from that game and let somebody else pass. I tell you what, I'll be rooting a lot for Carolina, because if Carolina beats Vegas, that just a lot of teams just dropped out of your survivor pool.
Yeah. I think Pittman is going to be out, Zoobs.
All right, so this is Zoobs. Yeah, Zoobs. I think Pittman's going to be out. It looks like Deontay with a new quarterback. I think Dalton knows where his bread's buttered. He should be peppering Deontay the whole
Definitely
game.
Keep an eye on it, but from what I understand, he's leaning towards not playing.
Hey, you know what? It's a good second to talk about the auto subs feature, because I don't hear anybody talking about the auto subs feature. What do you guys think about that?
I like the idea of it because for me, I live on the West Coast, and these Europe games, they start at like 6 a.m. And I was a victim of the Kamara, which is, I believe, the reason this rule or this new feature came about on Sleeper, because of the specific Kamara game where he sat out last minute for the Saints on a Europe game. And it cost a lot of people a lot of grief. So I think that, for me, I like the idea of doing it. I haven't tried it yet. And I mean, I'm just one of those people who likes to see somebody else do it first before I try anything. So I'm kind of waiting to see it happen in a league before I make an effort to actually submit one myself.
Gotcha. You guys have an opinion, Scott, Zach?
I mean, I'm fine. with it. I think I kind of agree with Sean. I think a lot of people got boned from the games last year that were in Europe, and I think that's probably why they implemented that rule. So I'm good with it. What about you, Zach?
I think I'm okay with it. I'm kind of easygoing when it comes to rule changes and things like that. I think it does take away from the randomness of fantasy and being able to pivot. Like, I understand the the time change and everything with Kamara, but I can't remember, was there any like inkling of him potentially sitting for that game, or is it just random? Like he just
No.
sat.
It was random.
It was
Okay,
random.
but the thing is, how would you to know if it was random that he was going to sit? You wouldn't be sitting him anyway. You wouldn't be using the auto sub on him anyway. So, right?
Well,
if
I actually used it week 1 because McCaffrey was questionable, and we all expected him to play. But just in case, I actually had him auto subbed out for David Montgomery, and that paid off and was able to help me. I'm gonna go look, and no worries, you know.
oh yeah, but was Kamara was he questionable at all, or was it just
No,
like
that week, no.
I don't
so I
believe
don't
it.
like. So
It's
I
been a
think
few years, so my memory's foggy.
I think with auto sub,
Wonder why.
players would have been boned anyway because they wouldn't have used it on Kamara.
Yeah, well, no, that's a good point. So the way that it works, from what I gather, is you get 3 of them per week. And they just fixed a bug because we had to actually go through all our redraft leagues and turn them off for a while last week, because if you had somebody set to auto sub for somebody else and that person played, the auto sub that you had on your bench was actually locking, and so you had no flexibility with that person.
So if it was a Monday night auto sub, then you were getting screwed because the guy you were trying to sub in played Sunday.
Yes. So I actually used it yesterday because I have Ferguson. I think I have Ferguson, and he was questionable. So last night I auto subbed Henry in for Ferguson. So now I'm crossing my fingers and hoping that Ferguson plays because it'll use the Ferguson points.
Right.
Crap that Henry got, you know.
Yeah.
But if he doesn't play, then I'm stuck with Henry, you know. So it's not like
as long as you do it prior to the game that they're both in. So if it's done on a Saturday prior to them playing on Sunday and Monday, or Wednesday prior to them playing Thursday and Sunday, something like that.
Yeah, definitely. And you could do it retroactively. You just once they play their game, then you cannot add that person as an auto sub, obviously.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that definitely makes sense. You know, and I don't mind it as much that way either, to be honest, because, you know, you should know ahead of time, you know, if it's a Sunday guy that you're trying to auto sub in, then my opinion is that you should have made the decision whether you're going to play that guy on Sunday or not. And if you didn't, then you better have a Monday plan.
Well, for me, I with this new job, I work on Sundays, so I get home like around 10:30 when the games are already going. So I have no time to look at my phone and do any of those moves. So for me, auto subs is kind of a blessing because I can make the same kind of moves. I can just make them preemptively.
Yeah. Well, I understand what you're saying there. I think like for you in that scenario, if you had a guy on Monday as well that you could be like, hey, look, like, I don't know if I want to play this fucking guy and I'm still up in the air by Sunday morning and I'm working and I don't have a chance to really make the decision and I end up having him out of my lineup. Like, then you'd have a Monday guy available to do your auto sub for the Monday game if needed. You know,
that's assuming that I catch the person questionable in my lineup, that I catch the news that he's out. You know, I might not even catch the news that he's out to begin with. So I set the auto sub, and now it's worry free, and I have the guy on Monday to cover for him.
So when you do that, and I'm only asking these questions, guys, because I'm super curious about this new feature that's available for everybody. So I feel like the more questions I ask is probably better for everybody listening, anyways. But so. Basically, for this feature that you're using here, you're going to auto sub these guys in, and that guy, like, so you said Henry, right? Like, he's in your lineup currently now, right? But if Ferguson ends up playing, then they will pull him from your lineup, and Ferguson will then be entered in. Is that correct?
Yeah, well, aesthetically, the way that it looks, it's Ferguson. If Ferguson did not play, if he was out, then it would put Henry into my lineup, you know, there.
Okay.
So the catch is, if Henry had an outstanding game and he went off last night, and say he got like 20 points, whatever, I would be still tied to Ferguson if Ferguson plays and he gets 3 points. I still get Ferguson's 3 points and Henry does not factor in. A lot of people were under the assumption that it was like a kind of like a best ball kind of element. It's not. You make your call, you make your priority, and then auto sub is your secondary. And if your priority plays, then your secondary means nothing.
Gotcha. All right. That's good clarification on that new rule. Well, I shouldn't say rule, but that new feature.
Yep, definitely good. I mean, like I said, I like the rule change myself. So, all right. Well, looks like we don't have any more questions or anything like that. So we'll wrap up tonight's show. For my before I let everyone go, please, like I said, like and subscribe to the podcast. Please go to the ballsvillegame.com website. Check out all our features on there, all our tools. The DFS tool was on fire last week. We had some people write in, said that they won money using our DFS tools. I put some good tools. JoJo put some good tools on there to help you win DFS for FanDuel and DraftKings. So, and then also tune in to, are you guys still doing that Monday night, Sean, your guillotine pod?
Yeah. Yep. We'll be live Monday night for the guillotine pod. So definitely jump in. Yeah. I guess there's going to be some eliminations coming. We're going to have a third team of the week again. It's going to be a lot of fun.
All right. So yeah, I was on it last week. I had a lot of fun, with Sean and that. And yeah, these guillotine leagues and the new triathlon leagues that we're going to have next year, you guys are going to love these leagues. So they're going to be a lot of fun. But I want to thank Zach for coming on, talking some Dynasty. I'm sure we'll have Zach on again and having El Presidente on again. Thank you again. And for my co-host, Sean S. Clem, for all you gamers, until Tuesday, we are out.
Peace.